When you have well-being in the forefront for self, love, that's because of knowing of what agency means, knowing of what connection means, and knowing of what meaning means. So you also know, though, how to tend to your solo self in a way that is true spirituality. So meaning and connection beyond it. And here we are pachas. And that's why self-help, spiritual, personal development works for those who are on an inner growth journey and a spirituality journey. So you're more of who you are, not less. And you tend to the small things. So your prefrontal cortex gets to be engaged here at IHP because the inner growth mindset involves your thoughts and emotions. And that means you can have a relationship with that which comes up, and you don't want to project. When we meet adaptive child pattern behaviors or maladaptive, we don't shame, we don't lecture, we don't blame, fault, revenge, resentment. We don't harbor any of that, which is from a shame cycle of a person who needs a good trauma therapist first, because EMDR, child parts work, and somatics will align them with their inner divine feminine world and their inner divine masculine world, and their masculine feminine is how I organize it. So once you can use your human name, that's when you're ready for self-help, spiritual, and true spirituality, and you don't lose anyone, at least not for 5D mystics. You grow your oversoul. And with that, loving self is not a selfishness, but it is not going to be seen by those who have porous boundaries as you being selfless. Okay, so integration of the brain and restored embodiment self-aware life is something I have consistently maintained. So I'll share with you stories of what it's like to say ventral vagal no, and that we all do have all those 6 basic human emotions. Okay, so it's just not torture, because we're using the left not to create a story of inner critic or outer critic. We do inner growth, and we're using our right. Yeah, I have emotions. My 3-year-old, she's upset. My 1-year-old, she's upset. My 4-year-old, it's okay to be upset. And I get to tell you, like a functional adult, this is my heart, this is what I'm feeling, this is what I would like. And if you say no, I know how relationships can be built through the years as secure connections and or secure attachment figures, and it all depends, and we recalibrate. And so splinters and ruptures, I've had plenty of them. And those people, there's twin flames, soulmates, they all will have come back and gathered around. Why? Because it is your choice what you do when we're transforming. And with this Lionsgate portal, our lovely 8-1 to 8-8, and we have a new moon tomorrow, there are those who are in a break it, and some are in a remake it, and some are in a it's done. Okay, so when you transform for the 5D collective, ascension energies bring up, and we take a look at ourselves with love, and we welcome all of our herd, okay, and our differences. That's because we don't have a 1-year-old that's pouting and wanting someone else to regulate us. So with that, you tend to the emotional plane and the mental plane with what is not an illusion. You don't say someone's out to get me. You don't pray to God because you're waiting, or Akash source, in a way of something's off. You do definitely have a relationship in the presence of anger, sadness, disgust, surprise, happiness, fear, to sit with yourself and connect, for those of you who do, right? Okay, but you know that the person who wields your wheel of fortune is you. So you can see something as negative or positive. That's the whole thing about subjective reality. And it's always subjective because the past comes with it. The emotions are not charged for people who have love of self, because that's the fact of you knowing what well-being is. It's equanimity. It's the unflappability. It is a solo self that has a narrative, relational, and core self, which is you with a whole 3-year-old heart. Okay, so again, spiritual self-help works for those who are supporting their own spirituality and inner growth journey to be you. Use your human name, and you don't need to expand the window of tolerance. You have now a window of welcome to emotions, and so you know how to do mind sight. which is you sifting introception, all that comes up. And you know how to have a reflective moment and therefore focused attention, awareness, dealing with the uncertainty, unwanted, unexpected from within while going with the flow, kind intention. And that's why you live a life of meaning and connection beyond the solo self, the true spirituality journey. It's also why for 5D mystics we expand, so we don't have a saga or stages or any of that stuff with our, again, oversoul. What I can share with you though is that we are aware of the divine feminine, us being in the process of expanding as it happens. Divine masculines are unaware because they're coming at their expansion from a different angle. So I'll break it down to you this way. Whenever any of my relationships have come about, twin flames, out of the 3, I knew of the ones who were headed my way. And the 3rd gave me the double whammy, but that was to recalibrate. In fact, it helped to recalibrate the 2 worlds that I was now part of, because once you get clairs, you're now part of the world of this sphere, and that's in addition to the mind, the thoughts. You're now with the unconscious. Okay, so you're picking up your stuff, your oversoul stuff, and then the collective stuff. And that's why your energy body, light body, light body, light body, rainbow body, another 2 bodies, and then a 3rd, and then settling in. And I'm an Akashic record reader. I'm self-taught, but the aspect of knowing what's happening as we master our inner world is very clear again for a divine feminine, step by step. You don't lose any of this inner awareness because you don't need a divine masculine. You have your own. So let me break it down this way. When you don't break away from Purusha, it's called unconditional love. And Maria's going to tell you it means I don't say evil changed me. Unkindness changed me. Life changed me. No one changed me. I'm more loving because you do embody the essence of pure consciousness if you understand that you are here to embody it. And it's called being a somatic empath. And it's called your actual body is seeking to return to its homeostasis all by itself, as is your brain. So I got lucky because I have secure attachment. I didn't have rupture of a 3-year-old. I didn't have rupture once I got to my adolescent years and I saw all that unkindness. I said, hey, Jesus, hey, God. So I did make my choice. I'm going to stay open-hearted because otherwise I'd be a liar to say that I love self or other. And so that's very easy and straightforward. And you don't actually go backwards. You grow more loving, which is what is beautiful about when you're like, ooh, I'm back in my skin again. That's how it felt. As I settled into not only the Enlightenment Soul Age group, but what is an active, restorative embodiment, self-aware, accountable, and regulating life, which is what you get to do if you want. Otherwise, there's Zen Master with laundry somewhere over there. So this is why Divine Feminine, we don't get lost. We don't get destabilized. We don't need someone to tell us how to connect to our 7th chakra and our 14th and all that. We also don't need textbooks because a divine, at least 5D mystic, again, I'm going to bring it to you this way. Maria, your host, at least. I'm going to say every step of the way as I got more familiar with what are clairs, which are explainable by the neuroscience community, physics, all of the people who look at our lovely stars, as well as their spiritual gifts and Holy Spirit. I don't call it gifts because it's my human makeup that allows me. You have the potential of having it too. You don't have to. It does involve, though, that self. So if you don't get a hold of your inner child, you're never going to clear your channel enough to be able to actively enjoy what is enjoyable about, again, for me, being able to be here and share with you how to tap into being more of yourself. And then the infinite higher human consciousness potential experience. It has consistently been I don't want to use those words. It's consistently something I appreciate. And it's not something that makes me or any one of us who is a mystic more special than another human being who does not have clairs. No, this word special, people use it in ways that actively disengage from true spirituality path. So what is special is the capacity to know, like I learned, that you are all my brothers and sisters, and that I have access to sphere, quote unquote, that is not provable, but that I can explain. Thank you, Dr. Daniel Siegel, because I'm a nervous system and you're a nervous system. And so with my Pacha restorative embodiment self, and anyone who comes on over and does this, we get to share with others who are also in bodies that are wanting to optimize and become their divine feminine with their own divine masculine. That's it. You get to walk a Cusco if they want to walk that path with you. And that's when you know what love of self means. And that's when you know what true spirituality is. And that's when you know that your oversoul expands. So I've seen since 2007 a lot of different ways people of the 4D collective use their words. And they're all on Elsa's journey. As long as they think of Claire's as a special gift, which is a burden or special, it's neither. It's part of your life, your experience, if you have access to it. You learn to harness it if you learn how to harness your own embodied human beingness, which is what those people, once they have these clairs, they think that, oh, I can see things. I'm going to go tell people how to live life. And that's one of those things. We don't tell people how to live life. A divine feminine does not limit and pull you. And that's more like when they capture a horse or they capture a poor animal. No, that's not how you help masculines to learn to be their self. You learn to be yourself by choosing how to love the self of you with the imperfections and flaws that you have and with integrity. And you present yourself as a human, use your name. That's what you get to learn about here. Be yourself. It's a person that has flaws. You do have integrity. You understand if somebody doesn't like you, you say thank you so much. Goodbye. And that's actively what grows. And the nice thing, what I can share with you is that you grow more equanimous. So it's very empowering to have a life where you are your own self agent and people are not mesmerized by the love of self, by the way. No, present it to them as a mantle. I can make you mentally and emotionally intelligent, and you can become a successful entrepreneur. I will give you a shortcut to heal your trauma. Yeah, okay. Anyone falling for that shit? Yeah, there's a bunch of people who fall for that shit. You know what I know about those people? Where's the mantle, Elsa? Have fun on your journey. See you later, alligator. There's a Cusco over there without a Pacha. I'm pretty sure Pinocchio's still on that island. Anytime I see fancy words and fancy pantses, I'm like, there's another one that bites the dust. I think that one over there. So, okay. Anyways, love of self. If you are a person who loves who you are, you're going to be at IHP. And if you love who people are, you're going to be at IHP. And if you don't, because you don't think humanity has goodness or kindness, well, that's another story right now. We have one more episode that I'm going to do. In the meantime, thank you for stopping by. To be a divine feminine, we don't keep a person around. You're not my, good boy, good girl. Let me make sure you know what it is to live life. That's what it feels like whenever anyone wants to tell me they need to be let to open a door. You think I want a puppy? I don't want a puppy. I like cats. They're independent. I love puppies. Don't get me wrong. They get to go with the people who want to tend to the puppy who needs to go out and do its business. No. Cat, independent. Go, come back. You get upset? It's okay. I'll learn how to work with you. I'm a cat lady. I'm a cat lady. I'm 44 and I'm polyamory, remember? Apparently, we overestimate the usage of the brain. So when you're an empowered woman, FYI, yeah, you ain't, hey ladies, come over, come here. So here's the deal. If they fuck you, please remember, don't think of wedding bells. Okay, I know you are. And to hear all these women giggling in the front of Princess and Goddess of May, and then to hear other things. Oh, I love to watch people from afar. And then I'm like, it's a really good thing that some of us don't get spotted. We don't want to get spotted. No, it's because, woo-woo people. We're woo-woo for a reason. And that's okay. We're not fancy-prancy. We like to tend to the small things first. So, loving oneself is a fun journey for divine feminine. You know what we do know about our divine masculines? Oh, we know that they're gonna divine. How can I say this? So I'm gonna say it this way, and I repeat, I'm lucky. I have not had rupture from any of that which is the emotional sphere. Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never harm me. And there are those who say until they do. And they don't know that there are some of us that, no, no, you can keep talking. Get more comfortable with your words. Let me hear. How are you going to use those words? Oh, I'm a content creator. Don't you know I love words? Come on over. Keep on at it. You only need to be told once. It's not personal, Maria, as a teenager to say, wait a minute. It isn't personal. It's my feelings. Look, I dictate my feelings. Oh, this is fun. I'm going to have more fun. And so you get to have more fun with Cusco's. Because what's a Cusco, my lovely viewers? You ones who keep coming. What's a Cusco? Yeah, so when you're a Fibonacci brain, you're not mesmerized by Cusco's. There's only so many Cusco's you can meet until you know them all. And I won't say that, though, because you never know. This is the smart thing. Do I know everything? No. I'm the woo-woo lady. I don't know anything. I know that I, on the other hand, enjoyed every single step of the way. Even when I didn't, I said, I know I'm going to enjoy. I know I'm going to know. And, the divine feminine, we tend to know what we're talking about because we know love and love life. And so we'll close with this. It was a couple years after a certain number of things where I turned around to myself. I said, do you realize what just happened and what you have been able to take and have and experience in these years? Wow. So here's the deal. When you know your own self, the way that I'm going to conclude this as a channeler, I'm an Akashic record reader, we will see our past lives. And I have gotten the honor to see past lives with my twin flames, my soulmates, and a number of people that are part of my oversoul, more than I even know out here in the world. And there's one that I got to completely remember in a series of, again, 2 years. And this is through channeling, though, and getting this rainbow heart gifted back to me because it had been taken. And not taken in a way of it being bad. It was an actual, so our planet began ascending in 2007, and I forget when this whole, other thing took place. I'm not using words because I don't remember it, but basically any divine feminine will remember these intuitively because you'll remember the years. So I knew what was happening as it was happening, and this heart going through its own transformation, moving from a 3D heart to 5D heart. 4D, people stay stuck in that. We're going to leave that to the side. So I, at a certain point, was able to recognize that I was gifted back from this very specific human being, who is the human being that is within my oversoul and soulmates and that kind of stuff, okay? And this human being gifted me the rainbow heart back in a series of, again, interactions and developing what is a relationship. And I then, in the meantime, had, I don't remember how many, I got to see about 10, 20 of our lives together until we get to this one. And I know the future lives, not this as Maria, future. Okay, so that's what happens when you're a channeler. Again, you don't need to take it seriously. You can just consider it like a movie. I don't watch movies. I have my own movie going on in my brain. Okay, so long story short, though, I, as a divine feminine and as a human being, I was not surprised when I recognized who this person is, how they came to be, who they are right now, and who they will be. And I actively was able to channel and understand why I brought them forth. And in fact, I'll never forget it because it was so that I would continue to return back here to planet Earth. And there's only one thing that's going to have you keep coming back to planet that essentially does have a lot of suffering. And it makes sense. And I won't details. Nope, nope, no details. But this is the part. As I was contemplating all of this, I'm like, wow, had I not had all of what took place happen, I would not be able to be here actively, physically, because the 2 years would not have been spent in the way they were spent, the 2.5, and I would not have had the opportunity at all, because I would have been completely immersed in something different, mentally and physically. And that is how divine feminine works. Nothing ever takes away, because that's an illusion. And nothing is set in stone either, though, which is what those who are not divine feminines, but they navigate their 0 1 to 8-year-old, their child parts, and their left mode gives them a story, and they actively don't heal the abandonment, rejection, shame, injustice, humiliation, and these inner child wounds that are waiting for their owner to come home and say, I love you, I love who you are. And we can do emotions and regulate our nervous systems, be our own self agents, find connections that are meaningful, and actively have meaningful 24 hours. It's not hard to be your independent, consciously speaking, integrated brain. That's for those who have the secure attachment. The ones who don't, they can get here. But if they say, I don't want to do journaling and mindfulness meditation, all people are fucked up, so I'm just going to stay this way. This is a human being, because you're picking on avoidance. So I'm just going to stay this way. That's a teenager. The 16-year-old is the fight response for every one of us. We all have these charge parts. Thanks to Martin, my teacher. She taught that to me. 16-year-old spites the parents. Spite the parent. If they take their life, it's out of spite. We don't want any of that. But the 11-12, they don't do it out of spite. The 11-12, that's the flight. They feel nothing, meaning I'm no one. I'm no one to anyone. I'm a ghost. And so if they do the life thing, it's because they feel that they're a ghost. And these examples will resonate with anyone who's objective with, oh yeah, I got a 16-year-old. Mine didn't spite the grown-ups, because I knew the grown-ups were right about the adolescents that were assholes. And then I have Jesus and God, who I look to, not the teenagers or the grown-ups. Because why would I spite? Also, my life is meaningful, and I would never, ever, ever, ever want to take it away. It was a gift. It would have been a sin. That's what I got taught. It's a sin. You don't take your life. It's a gift. And I remember, and I wasn't out of fear. It was out of, it is a gift. I don't want to die. I would wake up as a kid growing up crying because I didn't want to die, because we won't know when it happens. And I got Marcus Aurelius, who gave me the wisdom of, why are you worrying about this? You're not going to be able to do anything. Do something different with your thoughts, with your life. And I was like, you know what? He's right. And so, with that being said, love of self, you get to pursue this journey back home to yourself, first with therapy if need be, and then you can continue it with that lovely self-help, spiritual, inner growth journey. If you're a 5D mystic, a divine feminine, if you have clairs and you need some support, come on over. Again, we don't lose parts of ourselves, although sometimes you go through transformative moments, so you will feel and or visualize that you've lost something, like that heart that I told you about. It's because of a series of events that it got lost, and it was because of a series of events that it got refound, and then it got put back into its original place, and therefore nothing changed except for me being able to expand more of me, more of my oversoul, and have more stories for you all. So thank you for stopping by. Like, share, and subscribe if you like. And if you know anyone who wants to do self-help, spiritual, personal development, send them our way, and we'll be back again with more. Have a good one.